Being a creator is not easy at all, especially if you have a day job and you have a family and some other things that can take time from your creator life. And of course, things like your job and your family are more important than your side project or your side business, at least for the moment. Well, not with the family. The family should always be the utmost importance. But referring to your day job, it might be that you're planning to launch your own business. So your day job, it's like a holdover until you get your business up and running. For some of us, like my case, my day job will remain my day job for the foreseeable future, and I'm not thinking of moving anywhere else. So I have to take care of it. I have to take care of my job, devote the time that it needs to be devoted to it, and also, of course, like I mentioned, family and the daily things that we have to deal with. The reason I'm mentioning this is because sometimes it is hard to find that time to create, to write, to do things. And I'm just gonna talk about the way I've managed things, and this might not work for everybody, but it's the stuff that has worked for me. And I don't intend to be a wise person talking about all this and being the creative genius, because I'm far from it. But having a busy life had taught me that some things, to evaluate things, see what's actually worth doing and what's not worth doing, and change habits or the way things are done here and there. So without further ado, these are some of the things I do to get more time to create the stuff I want to create. First one is to avoid distractions from social media. And I know this is really hard, and those of you that know me, I'm kind of a prolific Twitter poster, and it's something I'm kind of working on, but I've tried to dial it back. One of the things I did, for example, in my phone, I took the Twitter app and some other apps that could be distracting. I took them off the home screen. I did not uninstall them, but I took them off the home screen, because not having that easy access to just unlock my phone, tap, and be in the app, I have to go in and kind of like swipe until I get to the app and then get there. That little step makes me sometimes kind of like think about it, kind of, okay, yeah, no, I won't do it now. So it's a small detail, but I think it helps, because you can literally waste a lot of time on social media. And I know it's important for creators when we're promoting our work to be there, to be present, to be in people's eyes, talking about our games, promoting our stuff. But we have to be careful that it doesn't get in the way of the actual creation process, because then we spend all the time promoting something that not really exists or partially exists. You don't want to do that. You want to have something fully fleshed and done, or if it's in the process, it's flowing, it's being created. But if we spend a lot of time on social media, on Instagram, Twitter, or do people still use Facebook? Then you're not going to be creating. So try to avoid that. If you find it too difficult to keep yourself away from that kind of thing, then you might be better off uninstalling the apps from your mobile phone. Another thing you can do related to the mobile phone, there are apps that will let you focus. I use an app called Forest, and basically uses the Pomodoro system, where you have 25 minutes of work and 5 minutes of break. And as the idea is that as you do your work, you grow trees. It's kind of like a fun way to implement the Pomodoro system. But you can also get a plain vanilla Pomodoro timer app on the internet. And it's a nice system that, because you set your mind, and this is something I not only use for creating, I use it in my day job. Just 25 minutes are going to be focused. You set your mind to, I'm going to be just working. And then when those 25 minutes are done, you stop right there, and you take a break. You do whatever you want to do. You want to surf the web? Surf the web. Go to Instagram. You only have 5 minutes. Once those 5 minutes are done, ding, timer sounds again, back to work. So it's a good way to keep you in check, keep you doing what you need to do. Another thing I've done, which is not probably possible to many people, is to take advantage of my lunch hour. So at lunchtime, what I do, I work in an office. So what I do is I take lunch from home, a simple lunch, and in basically when it's my lunchtime, I eat it quickly, like basically 15 or 20 minutes, and that gives me 40 to 45 minutes of creative time. So as soon as I eat my lunch, I put on my headphones, I grab whatever I'm using to write. If it's editing layout, it would be my Windows laptop. If it's going to be something like I'm doing on Google Docs, probably it's my Chromebook, or it might be my AlphaSmart. Take that, go somewhere where I can be private, and we have a nice area for that in my where I work, and just sit there and work on my creative stuff. And sometimes it's not possible. Sometimes there are things that, will take up your lunch time. Sometimes you have to run errands or whatnot. But if you can, do it. Just take that time and focus on what you're doing. And even if you do a little bit, even if you just manage to write 2 paragraphs or whatever, you will be satisfied that you were able to do something and that you didn't go zero, It's kind of like you have to pursue this kind of no zero day philosophy where you are always doing something for your goals, even if just a little bit. That's the kind of thing we're looking for here. Sometimes it's in the morning. Sometimes as I have breakfast, I might be, for example, reviewing something I wrote or making quick notes of ideas, either on random paper notes, or I might actually write something in my bullet journal. And talking about bullet journals, using a journal can be also helpful because you can set goals, define goals, and they're written there, they're on paper, and then you can always check against that. It's pressure, I know, but it's a good kind of pressure. It motivates you to do things. So if you use a calendar, or if you don't use any, I recommend, because you could use like a calendar, like an app or something, but I recommend writing things down. Because when you write them down, it's more of a commitment to what you want to do. So write them down, and if you don't know about bullet journals, I highly recommend you do some research on that. And don't get carried away by the fancy stuff some people do. Some beautiful layouts, but that take a long time to prepare with fancy artwork and such. The basic bullet journaling system is very basic, but it's very useful. So I'm going to put links below to the bullet journal website. So if you want to check that out, and you can acquire journals now for cheap, like dotted journals, which are the best ones. You can get dotted journals from many stores like Michael's or Walmart for really cheap. So I highly recommend journaling and keeping track of what you're doing, of your creative work, with a bullet journal. Another thing which might be more difficult to achieve, because it's kind of specialized, but it has worked for me, is distraction-free writing. And I started doing this with the AlphaSmart, and there's a video I posted a while ago. I'm going to put a link to that video where I was using the AlphaSmart as a way to keep distractions away. No social media, no internet, no nothing. It's a device that's just a word processor. It's a keyboard with a little screen. You type in it and you're done. And then you transfer via USB. But lately, I've been discovering the magic of typewriters. And typewriters let you do something, or better said, they don't let you do something that you can do with computers and even with the AlphaSmart, which is editing. So this concept of just writing in a forward direction, always forward, always forward. You make mistakes, you don't edit, you keep typing. You misspell something, you don't worry, you keep typing. You're just pouring out those thoughts, pouring out those ideas. That's a very good way to get your creative juices flowing and to actually create stuff. And then you just pour your information out there and just type. And when you're done, however many pages you have written, Then if you want them in the computer, that you can scan them with the OCR software, which can be, it's easy to acquire. There's even mobile apps that you can take a photo of the page and it'll scan it for OCR. And then you can transfer that to Google Docs or Microsoft Word or whatever you're going to use it for editing. Typewriters can be found for cheap. I have 2 electric typewriters right now. One I got for $20 and another one I got for $15. And you find out thrift shops. And of course, if they let you try them, it's ideal because you can try them, you can make sure they work. Because, I mean, it's not a lot of money, but it's money. And they're very mechanical devices. So you got to make sure that everything is working correctly. Cash return, all the letters, they don't jam, all this stuff. So, but I've been consistently finding, especially electrics, they tend to be cheaper than manuals. I intend to find a manual typewriter so I can take it with me, so I can go type in the park, I can go outside of a Starbucks and sit down, plug my typewriter and just write away, put on my headphones, forget about the world, listen to music and type. That's another tip. If you can put on headphones and isolate yourself from the outside even for a little while, do it. I created a playlist on Spotify based on the theme Twin Elms, which was used by Critical Role on their first season. I always liked that theme. So based on that theme, I created a playlist. Spotify created the playlist. And that's basically my writing inspiration music. And it works great. It gets me going. It gets my creative juices flowing. And I just write away. So those are the things that I've been doing to being able to, for example, develop a complete RPG system in a year, which is 52 Fates. It was from nothing, from an idea to a complete game in basically a year. And it's something I'm proud of, but I don't think it's because I'm some sort of genius. It's just that I tricked my daily routine into finding these places and the opportunities to actually work on my stuff and get things done. So I hope these ideas get your own ideas going, and let me know, how do you manage time? How do you find yourself being more creative? How do you manage to, between the busyness of life, get to sit down and focus and create things? Let me know in the comments. I really want to know, because you might have some ideas that I haven't thought about. If you like the video, please hit the like button. If you like the channel, feel free to subscribe. I really appreciate it. And until next time, keep those D20s rolling.